Greetings, everyone. I'm John Murphy, and I'm again with Dr. Bobby Belmonte from Maximize Living. In this clip, we've got an amazing case study to share with you. Again, drilling into essential number 2, maximize nerve supply and taking good, proper care and proactive care of your spine. So with that, I'm going to turn over to Dr. Bobby, who's going to walk us through this example.
Yeah, thanks, John. Your spine is the super sensor of your body. It controls everything. It's really the brain that depends on a healthy spine and nervous system to do that. And this gentleman, when I met him, he didn't have a lot of problems. He had a small stomach issue. He didn't really complain about it often. He was really just here for a wellness screen. He just wanted to see, what is going on. Is there anything to be concerned about? And what happened is what we determined that those nerves down in his lower spine, which regulate all the function of his digestive organs, weren't working properly. And if a nerve is damaged, whatever's on the other end of the nerve isn't going to work properly at all. I mean, does that make sense? If I cut the nerve going to your heart, the heart would stop immediately. Because the only way the heart works or the body works is if the brain can talk to it. But if you disconnect the brain from the body, whatever's on the other end of those nerves isn't going to work at all. But if there's damage, and only half of that information can pass through the nerve. I mean, can you imagine if you had damage on the nerve going to your heart? When would you want to know? And so John wanted to know. And what we looked at is whether or not the nerves that were regulating his digestive organs were working properly, because he did have a small stomach issue that bothered him from time to time. And what we found is that the nerves indeed were damaged. And so we took x-rays to determine if it was the spine that was causing the damage. And sure enough, it was. And back here, if you can see this, this is an A to P view, a shot here. This is like looking at you from front to back. We'd want to see the spine perfectly straight. 180 degrees would be a perfectly straight line. And here we can see 171.9. That's 8 degrees off from 180. This is the beginning of a scoliosis in his low back. And that abnormal pressure on those joints is what's irritating the nerves. If you put pressure on a nerve, it's not going to work properly. A study down in California actually determined that a weight of a dime, imagine how light that is, just the weight of a dime on your hand. That's enough pressure to irritate how a nerve's going to work. And so here, right at the end of that first stage of degeneration, you can see there's a bend in the spine. It's not straight. And if we count up from the bottom, 5, 4, 3, right at L3, those are the nerves that go directly not only to the colon, but back to the bladder and to the prostate. And so if those organs are going to function properly, you're going to need good, healthy nerves to do that. And so what happened is John's problem just wasn't big enough in his mind. He couldn't figure out how to invest the time and money because he didn't feel that bad. We knew what was happening. If we left the pressure on the nerves and we let the spine get worse over time, we knew that it was going to catch up with him. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened. 2 years went by before we ended up seeing John back in the office, except this time he's scheduled to have a major surgery, to have a portion of his colon removed. Because that small stomach problem progressed to an ulcerative colitis and a Crohn's. The medication wasn't working. He developed polyps in the colon. They went and pulled them out. And then after that, the polyps came back with a vengeance, and they now are scheduling him to remove a small portion of his colon. And that's a very expensive surgery. And if the only thing we do is remove the colon and we don't address the root cause of the issue, what do you think is going to happen? The problem's going to come right back, or it's just going to continue to affect other organs that are controlled by that same branch of nerves. And so what we did for John in this moment was save his life. We worked with him over the course of 30 days, and we had objective measures to retest nerves and redo the x-rays. And what happened was 30 days turned into 9 months. And on the right, you can see we pulled the spine straight. We corrected the spine, no different than an orthodontist will work to structurally change the teeth using braces. And we went through a very involved process where he's doing specific adjustments for the spine. He's doing rehab to recondition those soft tissues that support the spine. That way we keep it in a healthier, stronger position. And at the end of the day, what was really amazing is not only were we able to help John's small intestines, colon, bladder function better, but we were able to prevent a major surgery for him. And you better believe he's going to work hard the rest of his life to keep the spine as healthy and functional as he possibly can. I mean, it just makes sense. The average person typically waits until they're about 47 years old, John, before they ever have their spine and nervous system tested.
And as you know, I waited till I was 55 years old before I came in. So, hey, guilty. Here's the other thing: is that as critical as essential number 2 is, and we've given you a few clips now on maximized spinal care. Each of these essentials unites, if you will, and integrates with the other essentials. So, in addition to just getting your spine assessed and corrected, you got to get your head into it, and you got to be mindful of what you do, of what you eat, of how you exercise, and the toxic environment that we live in.
Well,
So-
that's just it. I mean, and that's what we had to do here for John in this case. I mean, we had to go after nutrition, avoid all the chemicals, avoid the GMOs. We had to pull the sugar out. And so you're exactly right.
That's right, and even strengthen the body through certain forms of exercise to maintain the gain, we like to say,
Yeah.
to sustain the change and keep the improvement. Okay, so that's it for today. I'm John Murphy. This is Dr. Bobby Belmonte coming to you from Maximized Living, and we are here to help. God bless.